Greetings, friends of First Congregational United Church of Christ. It is a blustery October day amidst the blustery events of this season. We are in the second week of the church's annual pledge drive in order to continue funding our ministries for 2021. Yes, next year will come. And with it will come our recommitment to seeking God's love, justice, and compassion right here in Bellingham and beyond. We are definitely in a season of uncertainty when we don't have a lot of answers. And so in this time, one of the things that we do is we look for what remains, like community, like our connection with the divine. And we look for what we need to innovate, right? What we need to make new or attempt for the first time, which we've been doing quite a lot of this year. If you haven't had a chance to watch the videos that Janet and Jen made talking about this stewardship season and what innovating church, sustaining community means to them in this particular point in time, I hope you will stay on and view them. They bring me both joy in being part of First Congregational Church and hope in the message of God's continuing presence in our lives, no matter what. If you have not received the pledge materials, either by U.S. mail or in your email box, please contact office@fccb.net. That's office@fccb.net to ask for the letter and the response form. If you have received them, please consider prayerfully and send them into the church office as soon as you're able. What you give makes it possible for First Congregational Church to continue being the church in this world, which I believe we need more than ever. God bless you. God bless us all.
Okay there, it's that time of year again, you know, the leaves are changing, pumpkins are ripening, and it's pledge drive time. So you should have gotten your materials in the mail. If not, they're coming shortly. But you know, this is good. This is a good thing. It's familiar. We do this every year. We know what to expect. We start the pledge drive, we talk about it for a few weeks, then we have Celebration Sunday where we all bring up our pledges, and if you procrastinate like me and you forget, you get that call afterwards. It's like, hey, have you gotten your pledges in yet? Hey, have you had a chance to pledge yet? And then as a church we do a budget and we're like, oh, we're not going to make it. And then, you know, like January, February, we got to get together and talk about what we're going to cut, and then we get all the pledges in, right? That's kind of usually how it goes. But this year's going to be different. This year's going to be different because we're not meeting in person. It's going to be different because, well, our world is different. And it's going to be different because we're going to get all these pledges in early, right? You and me, both going to do it. We're going to get them in early because we don't have time for that kind of stress this year, right? So, like I said, you should be getting those materials in the mail. You're also going to be getting an emailed copy as well. This year we're talking about innovating church and sustaining community, because that's what we feel like is kind of our focus right now. We're taking this weekly thing that we've done together in person for so long and totally reinventing how we do it. How do we do communion? What does a pledge campaign look like when we're not getting together? What does time with children look like? All of these things. And it's exhausting, and it's fun, and it's exciting, and it's a little bit sad. You know, it's a lot of things going on all at once, and we get that. But the most important part is sustaining that community. That's what so many folks get out of this church, is that sense of community, a place where our faith is expanded and grown and challenged and all of those things as well. So we are asking you to get those pledges in early. We know that this is a tough year and that you might not be able to pledge, and that's okay. But if you are able to, please get them in early. You know, our church is a unique, amazing, inspiring community, and the pledges are what drive that. They're what allow us to do bold things like the ground floor, and to have so many opportunities like we're having right now. Even though we're not meeting in person, there's so many groups and forums and things like that happening, and pledges are what drive that. So please, if you're able to, get those pledges in. If you have any questions, let us know. Like I said, you can do it by mail. You can do a check. You can auto pay. There's going to be a link to the website where you can set up those auto pay systems. But this is the way that we can feed that community and that we can keep our church thriving and strong. Take care.
Hello, everyone. I am Janet from the Creative Financial Team. Welcome to October. October just happens to be my favorite month of the whole year. There is so much to love about October. The temperatures are finally cooler and summer's over, and that's really a wonderful news for me. There's brilliant red maples everywhere, and the flaming yellow larch are in the mountains. It's time to eat squash. And it's a time to wear sweaters and fleece. And it's time for Pickford's Doctober. And it also happens to be our Stewardship Pledge Month here at First Congregational Church. So NPR's pledge drive just finished, and they have a habit of asking, can you imagine life without NPR? My answer is always a resounding no, and I run to do my pledge. So I'm going to ask you the same question. Can you imagine life without First Congregational Church of Bellingham? I can't, and I don't want to imagine life without this church. I was in Langley and saw a sign in a bookstore there that said, your soul will be fed here. My first thought was, my soul is continually fed in this church. Even during this pandemic, I feel supported, I feel comforted, and I feel challenged to think critically about social justice issues and my faith. And this is all so important to me during these challenging times that we live in this world. Our church needs money to function. We want to live even bigger into our vision in the community and into the world. We want to pay our wonderful staff. We want to maintain our beautiful building. And we want to support the many programs that are enabling all of us to connect and engage. So even though our building is closed, our church is so alive and open and thriving right now. And there are numerous ways for all of us to engage with each other and to connect. During this pandemic, our expenses have stayed the same and our income is down because we are not getting facility rentals and every Sunday offerings. So hopefully next year, we all want to contribute more money to our major maintenance fund and hopefully contribute more money to OCWM. So if your circumstances allow, please be generous and send in your pledge soon and early so that we on council can joyfully create a balanced budget by the end of this year for 2021. There are many ways for you to commit your pledge. You can mail it in by snail mail or you can pledge online. However you do it soon. And do it with joy and gratitude because generosity is such a gift to ourselves and others, and it is so enlivening. So thank you, and make it a great October.
Hi everybody, it's David Weasley with our midweek message. Hello. As you can tell, maybe, I'm wearing my stole and my robe here over my Dungeons & Dragons t-shirt. Why am I doing that? I don't actually usually wear the robe when I'm alone in my office, as I am right now, as cool as it is. But I just recorded, the welcome and the prayer and the benediction for the worship service, not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday, which is so weird. It's so hard to pray for like things that are going to happen in the world next Tuesday or whatever. This is kind of unprecedented times for our worship together, for our community together, for how we do church. And in the midst of those unprecedented times, we are doing our annual stewardship drive. That's also unprecedented. Usually, in the month of October, we have some sermons, we have folks share about why First Congregational Church of Bellingham is important, and then we get to all fill out a pledge form if we want. We're UCC, so you don't have to fill out a pledge form, but if you want, you can fill out a pledge form that says, here are the things I'm going to commit to do to support my church, to support the ministry of our congregation in the coming year. And you can walk down to the table or have someone carry it down to the table and put it on the communion table. It's beautiful. Except, as I said, these are unprecedented times. So we're going to have to do even this stewardship campaign in new ways. So, the creative finance team have come up with a beautiful theme. Innovating Church, Sustaining Community is what it's called. It's got a good tagline too. I want to read it off of it so I get it right. Innovating Church, Sustaining Community, Giving to reimagine what we know and grow what we love. The creative finance team very wisely named that two of the movements in this season are figuring out how to do all the things that we do well, all the things that we love in radically new ways. And also there's possibilities right now for growing who we are, for welcoming people across time zones and across barriers of geography, and people who can't make it to church on Sunday mornings but can come to our Facebook Live events, for example. There's so many possibilities in this season, and there's so many challenges in this season, and I think there's going to continue to be a lot of unprecedented times. But friends, I want to remind you that the Spirit is familiar with unprecedented times. The Spirit is, I think, even maybe comfortable when we find ourselves all out of our depths. Maybe that's when she is best at stepping in. So in these unprecedented times, may you consider some unprecedented call from God. Maybe she will call you to give in some way you weren't expecting. Maybe she will call some skill or talent out of you that you had forgotten about or that you are pretending is not there. I don't know. Like I said, it's unprecedented. But thanks be to God who loves us and carries us and leads us in these unprecedented times. Peace be with you.